Talkback.
Welcome to the Talkback.
Thank you.
How about this for the show? Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, this is the director, Alan. Also, if you don't know, he was given about, what, 3-4 hours notice to step in for Scott to play the role today. So, we'll ask a few questions. I'm going to kick it off really quick to Alan, director.
Am I? Really?
I'm going to kick it off for you. Yeah. This play, actually, Agatha Christie was a very prolific playwright. You may know her as a novelist, but this was not one of her plays. It was adapted in 2017. But it's been done as a film, it's been done as television. Did you do research on any of the earlier adaptations? And what kind of information or challenges did you get from this adaptation?
Not only did I do research.
Here,
I'm going to use my voice.
Did you take your mic off?
Yes.
Alan took the mic off?
Now it's on.
I didn't really need to do that much research. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to use my voice. I was a fan of the film for a long, long time. I saw the 74 version with Albert Finney probably back in 74. And I've seen different versions since then. And I was surprised that they never made a play from this book, because it was such a wonderful story. Then I heard in 2016 that they actually did. And so 3 years ago, I actually was in the production of this, playing the detective. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. And so when I was asked to direct this version, I had a lot of ideas already in my head as to what I was going to do. I had seen the other versions of this play. My wife and I saw one in, what was it, San Diego at the Old Globe.
Yeah.
And when they did that production, they focused on the comedic side of things mostly. And even though I thought it was an amazing production with an amazing train, they had all this incredible stuff on stage, I just didn't think they really got to the heart of what was going on during the show. So when I directed this version, I thought I'd focus on that, on what actually happened, why these people were all together, what brought them together, and the seriousness of what was going on. So that's where I was going with it.
And Ken Ludwig, who is the playwright, he actually is well known for writing a lot of farce.
Yes.
So,
there you go.
So
yes.
he was, there obviously he must have injected some humor in there because that's very much his style.
Absolutely, yeah. And for the most part, I kind of fought against it.
Okay. So it's interesting. Everybody here kind of knows each other, and I was curious this time watching the show. As you're playing your roles, were any of you injecting ideas of, well, we've all sat down and planned this out? So like at the beginning, the two of you are sitting in the bar. You've already had these discussions. And so did any of you inject, when you were putting your characters together, inject the idea that you had that meeting and planned this whole murder together? And is there any part of the show where you thought, well, this is interesting, we're having this conversation, but from the entire beginning, it's a ruse that you don't know each other?
I would say the
Rear bar mic.
I don't know what to call it, the tryst that we have in the observation room. That scene went through multiple versions together because when we started, it felt we discussed like, are we talking about the murder or are we talking about our love affair? And like, we tumbled back and forth about what we were actually discussing. What is she actually panicking? Is she panicking because she's about to shoot herself as part of the plot? Or because it's just a married man that she was, And we sort of ended with a mixture of them.
Anyone else? Use the hand. Pass it over.
Oh, well, as far as the cast goes, we never sat down, the murderers, and said, okay, this is how we're going to plan it. I mean, we knew the script, but there was no discussion between the cast of who's going to do what. I think all of us, I can't speak for anyone else, just did our own backstory about how this was done. And I, in my mind, was picturing my great friendship with Helen Hubbard and getting together at her home in New York, and I had this whole movie in my head of the murders and the kidnapping and the funerals. That's what helped me with my interview with Poirot, all of the funerals, and sitting there, funeral after funeral after funeral, and the anger and the anguish that my character went through. But as far as everyone getting together and saying, this is how it was plotted out, I think we all just did our own backstory, our own research.
Any questions from the audience? Yes.
So I have a question for Greta.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how much freedom did you have in developing your character and your mannerisms and the way you spoke? Was that something that was specifically in the script, or was that something that you developed after reading the script?
Let me
I
just
think my
repeat the
mind-
question for the camera. It was for Greta in how you worked on your mannerisms and
Your characterization.
Yeah, your characterization
how much
of-
freedom did you have to make that your own versus what was written in the script?
I think Alan and I worked on it, together. I would come and do stuff and he would, say no or yes. And then I would keep going or I would pull back. And I think it was very much, both of us coming up with Greta together, There were some things I tried that was like, absolutely not. Nope, and then, other things were like, yeah. Yeah, it's good. So it was very much teamwork with the director.
it's good.
It's good, yeah.
Anyone else? Oh, a quiet group. Okay. Oh, yes.
Well, how many of you have actually read the novel?
How many of you have actually read the novel? One, two.
I'm not sure. I used to read a lot of it, yeah.
On my
Didn't read that.
reading list.
We had about 5 of them. There's a question here.
With all due respect, a wonderful cast, I want to call out the stagehands who moved over.
Quite a feat.
In fact, though, several of the cast members also double if you pay
there.
attention. Benjamin he's one of our stage movers. Alan, after he is murdered, actually donned the jacket
We all
and
go to
moved.
tech.
So, anybody have any interesting stories about working up the accents? There's a lot of accents in this show. Anybody have incredible difficulty? I know I can't for the life of me do a French accent. So. Anybody have any major challenges? Yeah?
I had somebody compliment me on my realistic French accent, and I saw him honestly. It's like I'm only going halfway with it, and it kind of seems like a Frenchman who has learned English. So I'm getting away with something basically.
Anyone else? Yes.
I think I'm.
Yeah, I think we need to pass wrong.
I remember working on the French accent. One thing that you unfortunately can't be completely accurate on is that you'll say something like, and you have to change it a little bit just to make sure that it can be understood by the audience. So I would say, if we had a line that would be like, I had a Siri. It'd be like, you have Siri? Because you'd have to sort of, it would be like, I had a Siri, but you would have to sort of make it, I have a theory, and to make sure that they understand, that it's understood what you're saying, and especially I think I talk a lot, I talk pretty fast. So that's one thing you just have to make sure that it's, as authentic as you can be, but also understood by.
Yeah, I think even the pronunciation of Hercule Row is very dramatic.
So my approach was a bit different. So some time ago I did South Pacific and I played Henri. And I remember asking the director, okay, I'm speaking French, but I'm Polynesian. Should I have a Polynesian accent on my French? So I approached this head waiter in the same way. It's Turkish accented French accented English.
Like the Depp. Anybody else on accents?
Oh, yeah, I have a question for the audience members. So, Judy, how is my Hungarian? It's because Judy knows Hungarian.
Well, I wouldn't say, I had a Hungarian father.
Yeah.
And the only thing I remember about, I can recognize Hungarian when I hear it spoken, because they put the emphasis on the first syllable of the word. And most languages are not that way.
Yeah.
So there's a certain cadence. Like, if I don't understand what they're saying, but I understand that they're Hungarian because of the cadence, the music of how their accent is. That's all I know.
Well, the Countess and I did the best we could.
You did very well.
Yes, and I can understand every word.
Really good. Ray,
Yeah.
how do you balance the peculiarities of the character, his eccentricities, with his fastidiousness and intelligence? How do you find the balance between, he's kind of a bit of a nut job, but he's really intelligent?
Yeah, well, I just think of him as a nerd, but not in a bad way. I just think of him as somebody who is, who is well-read and is also kind of OCD, and he has a lot of things that he needs to make sure are in place all the time.
Just like you. Yeah.
So my wife has just indicated that it's just like me. Not hard.
Speaking of the train, particular challenge, not just the moving of the train, but the particular challenges for the actors of moving around in a small space. There's multiple times where there's many of you crammed in the one cabin, and especially the last scene, the whole reveal scene, everybody's kind of, and how you're not upstaging each other. Very good job, by the way, everybody being able to be seen by the audience. But any interesting moments or thoughts about having to move around carefully inside this, very tight space?
Well, the train wasn't built completely until about 2 weeks before we opened. So there was a lot of blocking and movement that kept changing. Just like that. And so it was a constant okay guys, we're changing the blocking again.
Yeah, on second thought, stand over there.
Yeah, stand over there, okay, move over there. And it was tricky. But I think we finally got it down pretty much before the show. Right before the show.
Yeah, we were all conscious that things were going to change once we had actual physical things to work with.
Yes. And being on this train today, for the first time, was so weird. I had no idea what you guys go through. And I was in that bed lying there, and I got up, and I found out I got up too early, and then the pants I was wearing were too big, so they kept falling down to my ankles. I pulled them up, and it was so strange, but I commend all of you for doing that every night, because I was lost.
I want to add something to this. For most of the rehearsal period, that stage didn't rotate. We got that capability really late in the game. So when he was directing, he would have to pick up the chairs, run to the other side of the stage and watch us from there, and then pick them up again and bring them back over here, and then pick them up and take them over to the side.
Yeah.
He lost about 5 pounds.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that, I know the doorways, there's a lot of times where there's people entering as you're exiting and on both sides, and it's very good job, because there wasn't a time where I went, oh no, or you guys are really bumped up against each other. You guys really mastered moving around in there. It didn't feel like it was difficult.
There was an incident last weekend. It's after I say the line about her singing, "Someone should shoot her and put her out of her misery." Usually Book and I and Poirot get off the stage, the train, on time. Last weekend they started turning it just as I was about to step off, and I thought, I'm not stepping up. So we moved right in front of the audience. I thought, I'm going for a train ride. Okay.
I thought it was only slightly out of character if I pushed.
Don't be silent.
And she indicated that to me right after, and as the head train guy, I make sure after that point to call, because I call train moving, stand by. Watch for passengers boarding. Watch for passengers disembarking.
There was a question in the back?
Just a quick question, who is responsible for the design of the train?
Who is responsible for the design of the train?
It's excellent, it's really well done.
I did kind of I saw the production in San Diego, and I had an idea of what I wanted to do. And I figured if we had all these separate sets coming in and out, it would take too long for each set change. Audience would be sitting there for 2-3 minutes. So I figured the easiest way to do it is just try to do what I could with what we had. And I had an incredible set builder who put all my ideas. They're all right there, and he just did a wonderful job. And Rick Steinberg is an amazing, amazing set builder, and we need to thank him for what he did.
Thank
It is very traditional to have the train on a turntable, is it not? There
have been other designs where it wasn't.
Where it wasn't, okay. Because in San Diego, I saw that same production, and it was on the turntable.
Yeah, it was. And when I was watching it, it was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, it was pretty elaborate, yeah.
It was incredible.
It's amazing what they pulled, I mean, really is.
Yeah, what Rick did was incredible.
Because when we saw it setting, I think you and I both commented on, holy cow.
It was getting close to showtime, like about 2 weeks before we opened, and we hadn't turned the train around yet. We hadn't had a chance to do it yet. So one rehearsal, I thought, okay, let's actually turn the train. And it turned, and I was so happy. But then I thought, there was nobody on the train. So the next day I said, okay, guys, everybody on the train, let's see if we can do it. And we did it. It was awesome. It was wonderful.
There's some other, yes.
I have a question that's not to do with play today, but with all the travel that people do these days, have anyone here ever been on the Orient Express?
For the camera, has anybody been on the actual Orient Express? Oh, Ray and his wife. Wow.
Back in the 70s, wasn't it?
Oh, I was gonna say, was it part of your character development just recently?
No, it was the Simplin, the 80s, the Simplin Orient Express. We went to,
Zurich to Venice. And we made sure we did it during the day, because we weren't gonna miss going to sleep on it, because we wanted to experience it.
See the sights.
But you had to dress up, you had to wear
Yeah.
suit.
No murders on that trip, you were okay.
That's what we know of.
That's possible.
None that they were a part of. Gentleman right here.
Yes. First of all, thank you so much, actors. It was a very wonderful play. Thank you. How many of the actors on stage now have been in the play before? At another version of the play?
How many of the actors have been in this play or a version of it before? We know Alan has.
And Jim.
Jim?
Yes.
Same role. In fact, when I did it last time, he was my folk when we did it 2 years ago.
And the gentleman, Ray, did you have difficulty in, really understanding your lines in terms of any apprehension about forgetting lines?
Sure.
There were plenty of people in the room they can answer yes.
I think anybody over the age of 40 has worried about memorizing.
It's really a lot. It's probably more than I've ever had to do in one show. But Rana over here spent an entire day drilling me, which was wonderful. And it's basically it took all my spare time. Since I'm retired now, all my time to just crank it, and it is harder when you're my age.
You're a little gray set.
I have to do a gray set.
Once he locked in, he locked in. It was really interesting. It happened.
I mean, once you get into your character.
Yes.
It just flows.
Once you don't
I
have
think
to,
so. I mean,
once you don't have to think of the words.
Yeah.
I got it.
Especially in that last scene, it's kind of like a 15-minute monologue for Ray. And it's been so great to see how like he has that now, so
Yes.
solid, and I'm like super impressed. Yeah.
I have to say that when I was asked to direct this play, Ray was the first person I thought of, because I had seen his work prior, and he had that quality about him that I thought was perfect for this role. Sticking to my guns.
Has a question.
Yes, a question for Alan, the director. So where did the idea and inspiration come from to incorporate filmed material onto the stage and in the show?
Well, I can't give myself the credit. It's normally done on stage, and the last scene, the murder scene, when everybody takes turns stabbing me. The 74 version of Murder on the Orient Express with Albert Finney, they have a similar scene in the film, and I thought it was just so heart-wrenching. And I actually used the blue light, also the same blue light they used. That's where I got the idea for that.
Yes.
Thank you. It was so enjoyable. I just love this, and I wanted to know how long you've been working on this. So yes, how you.
How long did it take? How long was it rehearsed for? How many weeks did you guys work on this?
Are we still working on it?
You know I am.
Yeah, it was like almost 2 months, like 7 weeks. And then the last week is tech week, so we don't really have that week in particular, but it's like 7 weeks.
5 for Courtney.
Yeah, five for Courtney, that's right. Courtney came in later.
Right.
Yeah, so thank you, Courtney.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah, you guys have had more fill-ins than I've heard about for a while, actually. I guess, Vivien, you were out for one night, and Scott was out today, and you came in for Rana, and there was a hand up. Yes, sir.
Yeah, during the course and run of the play on a given performance, do you try to stay in character, or are you just too busy, or it's not necessary, or?
Oh, no, of course you stay in character.
Probably
driving in,
Do you mean in between the weekends?
Yeah, no. I mean during the play itself.
Oh, when they're off stage. He was wondering if you stay in character when you're off stage.
It varies by actor.
Yes, that's true.
I don't.
Because if you're on your cell phone, that did not happen in the 30s. Question over here?
Well, I've always been afraid to ask this question because I didn't want to seem dumb. But why do they call it the Orient Express when it goes from
Why do they call it the Orient Express?
Paris to Istanbul?
Oh, I see. Well,
that was the Orient
It's the actual name of the train.
He's wondering why they did Orient Express.
That's a good question.
I think at the time that was considered the Orient.
Yeah, it was like the Middle East.
We don't really say Orient anymore.
What was that? You had a call?
Yeah, but Istanbul.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
It was a much broader area than we think of now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a question for the audience. I'd like to know how many had seen the movie or read the book, and how many knew the ending, and how many were surprised with it.
Okay, so how many knew the ending? Wow. How many were surprised? Okay.
Gotcha.
Good mix.
That's a good mix. We had a question way back there. Yeah.
Who found the hat box?
Who found the hat box? Who brought the
Who's
prop?
responsible for?
Oh yeah, who brought the prop? It's probably the prop room, I would assume.
Yes, it's available. There's plenty of hat boxes.
Yeah. There's a prop room back there. I think I saw several hat boxes.
You'd be amazed.
That was one with string that I could hold.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the wire that they use when they're looking at the?
Well, yeah, the form.
Oh, the form.
Yeah,
No.
but they're not, but the box too, so.
Yeah.
Those are colanders.
Those are colanders. I saw on Amazon, and I figured they'd work. So there we go.
I'm telling you.
Well, thanks everybody. I think that was fabulous. Thank you all for the great questions. Tell your friends. I don't know if you have to tell your friends. This show's been sold out constantly. Good for you guys.
One more weekend.
One more weekend.